When I play the piano, I just play those songs as I play them, especially in this film, because there's some songs that the audience might not really have heard unless they're hardcore ABBA fans. ABBA's music made history, but behind the scenes, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Benny Andersson has just confirmed the heartbreaking truth fans never saw coming. What really tore the band apart, and why is this revelation sending shockwaves through the music world? The answers may leave you speechless. ABBA wasn't just a band, it was a global phenomenon. From their dazzling stage performances to their perfectly harmonized songs, the group seemed untouchable. Every music lover knew their hits, and fans around the world admired them not just for their talent, but for their seemingly picture-perfect lives. But behind the sparkling outfits and chart-topping success, cracks were forming. The relationships between the band members, once strong and unbreakable, were beginning to show signs of strain. Benny Andersson and Anni-Frid Lyngstad, known as Frida, were one of the two power couples in the group, much like Bjorn Ulvaeus and Agnetha Faltskog. They looked like the ultimate dream team. Fans saw them performing side by side, smiling and sharing moments on stage. But they had no idea what was happening once the spotlight faded. The pressures of fame, the demands of constant touring, and the personal struggles each member faced were taking their toll. For years, speculations surrounded ABBA's breakup, but it wasn't until recently that Benny finally spoke out, and what he confirmed left fans stunned. What really happened behind the scenes? What was the final straw that changed everything forever? The truth is more heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. Long before ABBA became a household name, Benny and Frida's love story was already unfolding. It all began in 1969 at a Swedish music festival. Benny, already well known for his work with the Hep Stars, Sweden's version of the Beatles, saw Frida performing and was immediately drawn to her. She had a fiery presence. Her striking red hair, powerful voice, and undeniable stage presence set her apart. She wasn't just another performer, she had something special, and Benny noticed. Their connection was instant, and soon they were inseparable. They bonded over their love of music, their shared dreams of success, and their ambition to create something extraordinary. Benny admired Frida's raw energy, while she respected his genius for melody and arrangement. Together, they seemed unstoppable. As ABBA formed and started gaining recognition, their relationship grew stronger. They weren't just bandmates, they were partners in life and in music. To fans, their love story was something out of a fairy tale. But even the strongest bonds can weaken under pressure. What started as an exciting romance quickly turned into something far more complicated. And as ABBA's success skyrocketed, their relationship would face challenges they never expected. ABBA's rise to fame was meteoric. By the mid-1970s, they were selling out stadiums, topping international charts, and becoming one of the most successful musical acts in history. But with great success came great pressure. Benny was a perfectionist. He spent long nights in the studio, obsessing over every detail of their music. He wanted each note, each harmony, and each transition to be flawless. But Frida, passionate and spontaneous, worked in a completely different way. She thrived on raw emotion, preferring to follow instinct over structure. At first, their creative differences complemented each other. Benny's precision balanced Frida's expressive energy, making their music richer and more powerful. But as the demands of the industry grew, their differences became obstacles rather than strengths. The long hours, relentless touring, and constant media attention took a toll. Frida loved the excitement of the spotlight, while Benny preferred a quieter life away from public scrutiny. Their opposite lifestyles created friction, and soon friends began to notice the tension between them. The one thing that once brought them together, music, was now pulling them apart. It wasn't just about creative differences anymore. The emotional strain was becoming too much to bear. The pressures of fame had turned their once happy relationship into a battle of endurance. And it was only a matter of time before everything came crashing down. By 1979, the cracks in Benny and Frida's relationship were impossible to ignore. They had grown distant, each retreating into their own world. Benny buried himself in work, spending long hours in the studio, while Frida sought solace in social events and time with friends. Then rumors began to surface. Whispers of Benny's growing closeness with Mona Norklit, a woman he had met during an ABBA television special, started circulating. At first, they were just speculations, until Benny finally admitted the truth. In early 1981, Benny came home and confessed to Frida that he had developed feelings for someone else. The news hit her like a wave. Their relationship, which had survived the ups and downs of fame, the pressures of global stardom, and years of hard work, was over. Though they tried to maintain professionalism for ABBA's sake, the pain was too raw. Frida, heartbroken and betrayed, could no longer pretend that things were fine. After 9 years together, they officially ended their relationship. The emotional fallout wasn't just personal, it affected ABBA as a whole. With both couples now separated, the band's dynamic had shifted. And as much as they tried to push forward, the magic was fading. What happened next would change the course of ABBA's history forever. ABBA continued to make music, but something had changed. The group that once thrived on chemistry and connection now felt distant, strained. Songs like The Winner Takes It All and When All Is Said and Done took on deeper meanings. Fans who once saw ABBA as the embodiment of joy and unity now sensed the underlying sadness in their lyrics. In 1982, just a year after Benny and Frida's breakup, ABBA announced their hiatus. There was no dramatic farewell tour, no grand announcement. They simply stopped making music together. For fans, it was a heartbreaking end to a legendary group. The once unbreakable bond between the members had been worn down by years of pressure, personal struggles, and emotional exhaustion. Though ABBA never officially broke up, it was clear that the era had come to a close. But while their time as a band had ended, the legacy of ABBA was far from over. For decades, ABBA fans speculated about what really caused the band's breakup. Was it creative differences? The pressures of fame? Or was it the personal relationships that ultimately unraveled the group from within? Benny Andersson had remained mostly silent on the topic, offering vague explanations in past interviews. But in a rare sit-down discussion, he finally opened up about the painful truth, confirming what fans had long suspected but never fully understood. He admitted that fame had a much heavier cost than any of them could have imagined. The endless cycle of touring, recording, and media appearances had taken its toll, not just on their music, but on their personal lives. "We were young, and we were living this incredible dream," he said. But at some point, the dream and reality started pulling in different directions. Benny revealed that while ABBA seemed to have it all, behind closed doors they were struggling. The success of the band placed enormous pressure on their relationships. Trying to balance personal happiness with professional success became nearly impossible. "When you're in the middle of something that big, you don't even realize how much it's changing you," he admitted. When asked about his breakup with Frida, Benny didn't shy away from the emotional weight of their split. He acknowledged that their differences, once a source of strength, eventually became too difficult to manage. His long nights in the studio, his obsessive perfectionism, and their contrasting lifestyles created an invisible wall between them, one they couldn't break through. But the moment that truly sealed their fate came when he confessed his feelings for Mona Norklit. Benny admitted that while he never set out to hurt Frida, emotions are unpredictable. He had met someone who made him feel something different, and no matter how much he respected Frida, he couldn't ignore what was happening. "I didn't plan for it," he said. "But once it was there, I knew I had to be honest." Frida, understandably heartbroken, struggled with the reality of their breakup. While she remained composed in public, those closest to her saw how deeply it affected her. The band tried to continue as professionals, but the dynamic